always sunny down in Mexico. The sun gets high when I get low. The only way to get there is to let yourself go. Good times are made in Mexico.
Welcome to the Be All Inclusive podcast. Today we are doing a twist on something our team is constantly doing in our everyday consults, and we will be picking resorts for each other's destination weddings based off a certain persona. So every agent here today has brought a bride persona, her personality, timeline, budget, expectations, etc. And then the rest of the team is going to say which resort they would recommend for the bride and why. So the goal isn't to find the best resort because that is never going to exist, but the goal of this is to show how the best fit comes from understanding the person first. So today we have Kristen McNatt as our party bride, James Bergley, who is all about privacy, myself, Julia Morrow as the Pinterest perfect must get the shot bride, and Tim Hamill, who wants luxury without blowing the budget. So, four totally different personalities. Okay, Samantha, why don't you tell us about what you're looking for in a destination wedding and where you're at in your planning process?
So we just got engaged. I'm so excited. Okay, so I am looking for a luxury resort. I want it relaxed, but I also kind of want there to be a little bit of a party vibe. But I don't want to break the bank. So, you know, we just had to buy a new car. We're going to buy a new house. So I can't really spend too much money on the wedding. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Have you thought of a budget at all for what you want to spend on the wedding itself or what you want your guests to spend on their stay?
Not for the wedding itself, but I was looking at some local places and the prices there were just way too expensive. So I was kind of looking, I think I was thinking about my guests and I'm thinking like maybe like $200 to $300 per person per night. Is that something that's doable?
$200 to $300 per person per night. Yes, absolutely. That's doable. If you had to describe the perfect resort, where have you been before and what did you like or not like about it? And what would be the perfect resort experience for you?
I've only been to one destination. And it was a family trip that we took to, the Dominican. And we went to a Rio property, I think. The family had a good time, but I'm just looking for something a little bit more upscale, if we can. And I want to have like a modern vibe with great food. I'm looking for great food and a really nice beach.
Samantha, how do we feel about children attending the wedding?
Well, I guess my cousins have some kids that might come. I don't really want them to, but I might have to because, you know, how that goes with family. So I'm open. I'm open to allowing them to come, but if we can find an adults only option, then I'm okay with that.
What if the resort had a side that was adult only and the other side was family friendly?
I think that would be a perfect way so that I will stay at the adults only side and the kids can stay over there.
Do you have a timeline at all of when you want to get married, or do you have a specific date in mind?
I'm looking at October. I'm not really set on a date specifically, but October of this year.
Of 2026?
If we can. Is that doable?
For sure.
Okay.
You might just have like a little bit more payments due soon earlier, but it's definitely doable. We have people contracting groups for April of 2026 right now, so definitely doable.
Wow. That's so
Samantha, talk to me a little bit about the wedding side. What are the must-haves on that?
To be honest, I want really pretty flowers. I want to have a sunset beach in the background. I don't know if I need to have my feet in the sand. It's not like I'm not set on that one, but I definitely want really pretty flowers. But I'm going to have about 100 people come. I'm inviting about 150, so I'm assuming probably about 100 will come. But it's going to be a pretty big wedding. But as far as the ceremonies involved, I just want it to be beautiful.
Scenery is going to be really important to you. Have you been to a destination wedding before?
I have not.
No.
Have you been to an all-inclusive before?
Yes. So like I said, I was at the Rio property
Oh, yes.
one time. But I don't really remember much about it.
I was gonna say, was there anything that stood out about that resort or anything that kind of offset it that you're like, I don't want to see this at my resort?
No, I remember since it was my first time with my family, we all just had a good time. We loved the fact that we could just drink and have whatever food we wanted when we wanted it, and we liked the all inclusive vibe. But I just wanted something a little bit more luxury.
Do you have a destination in mind? Are you thinking Mexico? Are you thinking Jamaica, Punta Cana?
I was more looking towards Mexico and Punta Cana. Because we're at Punta Cana. I feel like maybe Mexico might be a good vibe, but with all the things that are happening in the world today, I'm a little bit nervous about Mexico.
You're looking at October 2026. You want your guests to spend $200 to $300 per person per night. You want a more modern type of resort, preferably adults only, and you want a nice beach and good food. Is there any other main priorities that I didn't list?
No, but I think food is a big one because I do feel like maybe the big reason why I didn't remember was probably because I wasn't eating very much. So I feel like if I really liked the food, I probably would really want to get more food.
Well, I don't have any more questions. I feel like I have my recommendation.
How do you feel about larger resorts versus like a smaller boutique type resort?
I'm open to either. I think I like a larger resort because if I can get away from my Nana, that would be great. If she has to be able to find me at all times, that's okay too. But if I can get away and kind of hide and have multiple places to go for multiple like pool bars or the beach, I'm okay with the large one. I think I would prefer large.
Okay. I had in mind the Fives. They're a larger resort. There's an adult-only building and an adult-only pool. They have lots of restaurants. The food is absolutely phenomenal. I think it's big enough to fit your crowd, but give you the privacy that you're looking for. It allows plenty of events and activities for kiddos. Again, the food is just so phenomenal. Wedding staff there is outstanding. Just really can't say anything, I can't see anything that doesn't fit what you're looking for.
Well, I have two recommendations. I'm going to recommend one in each in two different budget ranges, okay? Because it sounded like you might be a little bit flexible on the budget. And I'm not sure how far we can stretch that. So, and I know you want a little bit more modern, a little bit more luxury. So the Fives is definitely going to come in as a within budget recommendation for what I believe. And I really like not only the Sky Terrace there, as Kristen mentioned, but also the beach gazebo is what they call it. And the beach gazebo, it's a beautiful like diamond shaped pergola that overlooks the water, but it's set a little bit higher than the beach. So although there will be people in the beach behind you, you won't see them and your guests won't see them in the background. And it's still on, you're not in the sand, you're on a concrete. So I think that would be a really good option as well for you. But the other resort that I'm going to recommend for you, I think would really, really hit everything that you're looking for is going to be SLS Playa Mujeres. The only caveat, I know you said that you really wanting a really nice beach, and I don't think the beach there is that beautiful, but I do think you really want some beautiful scenery. It's right in the marina. And so you've got marina views, or you've got a gorgeous sunset view, you've got a gorgeous sunrise view as well. I think it really hits everything. It really gives you that nice modern luxury resort that you're looking for, but it does come at a little bit higher price.
I like the SLS, but I really want to stay within budget. Do you think that they'll work with me? Do you think we can negotiate like lower pricing for the rooms?
We'll try as hard as we can. But typically the resorts prices are what they are. They know what their rooms are worth, and they know if they don't sell it to you, they will sell it to another couple. So although we'll try to do a contracted group room block with the resort to see what negotiate the lowest rates for you, this is a higher end product, so it does come at a higher rate.
My recommendations, I have two of them. My first thought was Unico 2087. It hits every point of what you're looking for. It is a very luxurious vibe. It has great food, great service, great venues. The gazebo there is super popular. And then for Punta Cana, since you were exploring that as well, I thought Secrets Tides would maybe be a good option. That's a brand new resort, or they opened in like 2024, 2025. It's very modern feel. The pools are beautiful. It has a great beach. And I've only heard good things about that resort so far. So I thought that would be a good one too. And I chose Tides over Cap Cana because I know Tides will price better than Cap Cana would for your guests.
And that one is family friendly or adults only?
Adults only. Both Unico and Secrets are adults only.
I do like the water parks at the SLS, but it's not. I'm hoping maybe there might not be kids there. This is a tough one. Maybe you guys can send me all those options and I can look at them.
Hi, Brittany. We're so excited to chat with you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where you're at in your wedding planning process? If you want to share your engagement story, we would love to hear it. And then maybe tell us about what you're looking for in a destination wedding.
Well, Chad and I want to do a destination wedding. We want something small and meaningful because we don't want to spend $80,000 on a ballroom here in New Jersey. It's ridiculous. So for me, the non-negotiables is privacy. I'm not a pool party bride. I'm a candlelight and scenery bride, okay? If I'm crying during my vows, I prefer not to be in front of 200 guests at the resort drinking frozen margaritas in their swimsuits, okay? So I'm looking for a resort that actually is going to give us that space, a rooftop garden, some sort of cove, something that's really private. That's the most important thing to me. I just want it to feel like it's our wedding, not just one of 5 weddings that day at the resort. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Well, have you looked into resorts at all, or have you ever had an all-inclusive experience before?
I've been to a resort on spring break somewhere in Mexico. I don't remember it, but it was the exact opposite of what I would want for my wedding. It was like spring break and just party nonstop. There were people everywhere. I don't want that. So I don't want to go there again.
How many people are you looking to have come to your wedding?
Our guest list is around 150, but I don't know how many people are going to come. How do you decide that? Maybe it's going to be 150. Maybe it'll only be like, 30. I don't know.
Well, generally speaking, we're looking at probably about you. If you invite 150, you can kind of think at like 70% of the people that you invite will come. But you know your guests better than I would. Maybe you know that all of them will come. Maybe you know that less than that your people are more flaky and they're not going to come. So generally speaking, we see about 75%. So
no, I really think everybody's going to come. I think everybody loves to celebrate Chad and I, and they love us. So I really think they're all going to come. I think we should plan on 150.
Then that's perfectly good. Then we'll plan on 150. Do you have a budget in mind for your guests for like the wedding or for your rooms?
Okay, so that's where it gets complicated. So if we're talking about Chad's family, there's no budget. Like, he's got plenty of money, but and all of his friends and family, they have plenty of money. There's no budget there. But my family, we're poor. So my family is going to be the problem. So I want to keep it relatively budget friendly for them, but I still want a nice place that Chad's family is going to like because they have high expectations.
Is privacy important for you for only wedding purposes, or are you looking for a more privacy setting in a resort too? Or what are you looking for in a resort experience?
I like a resort to have like one main area that, everybody hangs out at, but I really like a lot of separate areas as well, that if we want to spend the day just private by ourselves and not have a lot of people around, that we have that option. So I've been to some resorts before where they've had like little, a lot of pools or separate areas that we can hang out at, and I really like that. I don't know if I want something a little bit more modern, but I'm also open to something a little bit more traditional and authentic as well. But really important that we have a mix, one area that we can hang out with everybody and all the guests, but also still have place to go and hang out by ourselves.
Do you have a destination in mind?
I'm really kind of open. I mean, I really like the smaller destinations where, the water is perfectly crystal clear blue, and I love those. The Saints, the St. Lucia's and those type of places. But I'm a little worried that from the budget standpoint, I'm sure Chad's family can go, but I'm not sure about my family to those destinations because those tend to be more expensive, right?
Yeah, definitely both not only for flights but for the resort stay themselves, just because the all-inclusive options get smaller and smaller as you continue to go into more smaller destinations. But you can definitely find that crystal blue water like in Mexico or Dominican Republic. It's just you have to find the right spots to go to.
I'm really open. You tell me. I really want to. I think the biggest priority for me is finding, finding a private resort and finding something that's within budget. So I'm open. If there's a cheaper time of year to get married, I'm open to whatever.
We're doing family friendly or adults only?
I'm probably open to both, but I lean towards adults only.
Brittany, what is your wedding budget? Where would you like to stay for that?
That's a really good question. I haven't thought too much about that part of things, but I think we're going to have a lot of help from Chad's family on this. So, I think for 150 guests, I want to say we could probably see us spending anywhere from 40 to 60.
Oh, that's a great budget. I know you said the beach is very important to you. What if the beach wasn't perfect, but your guests could take excursions to a property that's maybe 15 to 20 minutes away and have access to things like a catamaran ride and jet skis and food and beverages, almost like a built-in excursion?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to anything. I really want the guests to have a great time and be a good value for them. Yeah, I'm open to that. I think that would work.
Are you okay with a larger resort?
I don't really have a preference on large, medium, or small. I just don't want it to feel like a wedding mill where there's, 27 weddings every day.
What type of venue do you picture yourself getting married in?
When it comes to the wedding venue, I could see anything. I could see myself on a beach. I could see myself on a rooftop. But really, what's really important to me is the decor. I really want to set a nice, like boho chic vibe to the wedding. So that's going to be more important to me. I'm all over Pinterest, and I've got all kinds of ideas.
When you talk about like the boho chic feel, I think about Secrets and Dreams Playa Esmeralda. I think the entire resort really holds that boho chic feel. It's new, it's in a beautiful area. I would say the only downfall to the resort is the distance from the airport to the resort for guests. But that would, I think, hit all of the, would give you your privacy. The other resort that I was thinking would be Dreams Bahia Mita, and it's on the other side, so on the western side of Mexico. Very, very, very private venues. It almost feels like the resort was designed around private venues. Food and drink are phenomenal. Wedding staff is super responsive. They're fantastic. You could easily stay within your budget. And honestly, the venues are so beautiful and so unique and so picture perfect. You don't really have to do a lot to them to make them absolutely picture perfect.
I'm surprised you didn't mention anything in Tulum. I hear so much about Tulum. What about Tulum?
I mean, there's Secrets Tulum, which honestly, that could be a good option if you're willing to like take a little drive to a beach club, because otherwise it hits all the boho vibes. It probably would be within budget. It could fit all of your guests, and then you could have access to all the excursions and stuff like that. That wasn't going to be my recommendation though. My initial thoughts were going to be Secrets Moshe or Secrets Akimal, just because both of them have like the multiple pools all over the resort. One main pool of activities. Both are super lush, super like chic-y, modern, luxury type vibes. They both have private venues. I mean, the Arc at Akimal, super secluded. The rooftop at Moshe, super secluded. So I feel like both of those would be really good options. But if you did want the better beach, probably Akimal.
So actually, it's funny you say that. One of the ones I was going to recommend was Secrets Moshe as well for the luxury / boho chic vibe. As well as it's more relaxed and a luxurious thing. But at the nighttime, once you guys are getting the drinks flowing and everything, you can go over to that little speakeasy nightclub if you guys want to have fun.
I like a speakeasy.
Yeah, it's very nice. The other one that I thought of though, because you were thinking on the end of those smaller islands, I was thinking also on the west side of Mexico, Unico 2105. I love this resort. It is relatively brand new. It matches boho chic and luxury all in one. The wedding venues are fantastic. The rooftop is gorgeous. I think the culinary experience you're going to have there is fantastic as well.
And it's probably pricing pretty good right now because it is a newer resort.
Right. I think that's a great option for you.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
All right. Well, this is all really great, guys. Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate this. Well, Kristen, thanks for joining us today on our consultation call. We want to find you the perfect destination resort to get married at. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're thinking, why you're doing a destination wedding, and what would make the perfect resort for you.
So we started thinking destination because we really want to be with our friends and family. We want to hang out. We want to be together for more than just, like an afternoon, an evening. Really want to hang out. We want to have a ton of fun. So we all want to stick together. We want to, we want the drinks flowing. We want the music on all the time. We always want something to do. We want to stay busy. We want to stay really with our guests the whole time. We don't mind traveling a little bit further if, you don't feel like the Mexico area is the Cancun isn't really fitting our vibes, but we definitely want a party vibe. We want our guests to be able to go for longer than 3 or 4 days because I'm hearing a lot of guests go for 3 or 4 days. We want our guests to be there for a little bit longer. We're kind of thinking maybe we have a bunch of little events, little fun parties and maybe a booze cruise or something like that. And then we sandwich our wedding in the middle and then finish it with maybe some day after, maybe a barbecue or something like that. We really just want our guests to feel like they're on vacation and then they're going to go to a wedding and then they're back on vacation. But honestly, I want the wedding to be a party. I want our ceremony quick, sweet, to the point, and then I want us to be able to just have a blast.
So I'm getting the feeling that your guests maybe are just party people, right? Are we talking spring break level party?
We're talking party people.
All right.
We are party animals.
Did you have a budget in mind at all for what you wanted to spend on the wedding or what you wanted your guests to spend?
I feel like we were thinking about 25 to 30,000, but we can push our budget a little bit if it means a little extra fun. So maybe if we could throw in some fireworks or I don't know, maybe bring in a band. I feel like that would be worth the extra splurge. So I really want to focus less on things like flowers, which I think are maybe overpriced, I'm hearing. So maybe we focus more on guest experience.
How many guests do you plan on inviting?
We have a big friend group. I would say we're probably going to invite maybe 150, but I think realistically we're probably sitting maybe 100.
Are we doing family friendly or adults only? Adults only, right?
I feel like our crowd is more apt to leaving their children at home and traveling without their kiddos.
I figured I just had to ask.
Yeah.
And on the wedding side of things, what are the must-haves on that?
I absolutely want to get married on a beach. I want to get married on a beautiful beach. I don't want to worry about seaweed. I want a perfect beach. I want everything to be picture perfect on the beach. But I definitely don't want sand for the reception. I don't want my guests having to deal with sand and trying to eat. And I also really want, this is going to sound silly, but I want my guests to have a big area to dance. And I don't want it to be in the sand. So I want a solid ground, not in the sand. And I don't really want grass either. So I feel like I've seen some gardens and I don't really like them either. And I also don't like ballrooms. I don't want to be in a ballroom.
Did we already ask? Do you have a destination in mind?
No, I really just want to go somewhere where where our friends and family can party and hang out and just really be together. I really want nonstop action, but I also think it's important to have maybe a little bit of space where if maybe my parents weren't really, my parents are pretty good at hanging with the crowd, but sometimes they get tired at maybe 9, 10 o'clock and they may want to go back to their rooms. So maybe a resort large enough that they can kind of find, we could maybe find them a quieter area.
So my number one recommendation, you'll be shocked to know, Kristen, will probably be the Hard Rock Punta Cana. Hard Rock Punta Cana is going to fit everything that you want. It'll have the reception location options. It has beautiful ceremony location options, party vibe, plenty of locations to have fun, but also be low key. My favorite part is it's got a casino.
I mean, arguably, Hard Rock Los Cabos would also be a really great fit because they have a lot of terrace venues, and then they also have the adults only pool section. So if you wanted that adults only getaway, you kind of get the best of both worlds there.
Yeah, the beach there is stunning, although it's not really swimmable. That's the only downside, but it is beautiful.
I like the idea of Breathless Soul Cancun. That rooftop terrace is fantastic. Beautiful rooftop terrace for your whole party. Going to be a party vibe the entire time.
Breathless Cabo also has a stunning rooftop and a huge rooftop pool where like that would be a really great area for guests to hang out. And they're right in like the little town of all activities. So like you literally just have to step off the resort and you're in the town of Cabo, which would be cool.
And for the parents that want a little bit quieter, get away from everybody, the Exhale Club, offers rooms that are a little bit on the quieter side of the resort as well.
This is all fantastic information. I feel like you've really listened to everything that I wanted and everything that I didn't want.
Well, Kristen, that's what we do here at Be All Inclusive. This is how we help our couples figure out the exact right resort for them. And you know what makes a difference is that we've been there to all of them numerous times. So that's why we know what works best for our couples. It's something AI can't do. It's something the internet can't do.
Hey, welcome to this destination wedding consultation. Thanks for meeting with us. How are you doing?
I actually just got engaged on New Year's Eve and I'm super excited to start the wedding planning process.
Have you done any research at all?
I haven't done like actual research, but I've watched probably hours and hours of TikToks and I feel like I know what I want. I want an all white aesthetic. I want a ton of white flowers. I want beautiful greenery around. I want my ceremony to be during sunset so we can get those photos. And I'm okay with doing a first look and all of that before the ceremony so I get my photos in then because I know about that. I just want very beautiful, beautiful photos. I already have a photographer that I found through social media that I want to bring with me. So we're kind of set on that aspect. I'm going to have a content creator with me as well. So just super important that this resort will allow vendors. And I just want it to be very boutique-y, luxury vibes. And I also want to get married on New Year's Eve since that's when I got engaged.
Well, congratulations, Julia.
Thank you.
This all sounds very exciting, and I love the idea of a New Year's Eve wedding. Julia, how do you feel about budget for your guests?
So for my guests, I haven't thought too much about it. I went to a destination wedding myself about 8 years ago, and I want to say I spent about $1,000 on the stay. I know that's not going to be super realistic for today's day and age, but I was hoping to stay under $1,500 for my guests.
Is that $1,500 a person, or is that $1,500 a couple?
A couple, but I am okay if I fall in love with a resort and the room rates are a little bit more than I would want my guests to spend.
Okay, how about your own wedding budget?
I would say about $40,000 to $50,000.
Okay.
The $1,500 for couples. Does that include flights? It doesn't include flights, right?
No.
Okay.
Okay, have you thought about destination?
Yes, I have fallen in love with all the TikToks about Cabo. I want to do an all-white catamaran party. I want to do rooftop fireworks for my New Year's Eve wedding. I want it to be like this big blowout.
We do see that December, January, typically rates for guests are definitely higher than other times of the year. And I don't, especially in Cabo. Cabo can be very pricey. And again, looking at January 1st, it may be a struggle to find a resort within that budget. Do you think that we could increase the budget a little bit? Or do you think that maybe looking at another time of the year, maybe would work out a little bit better for guests?
I'm pretty set on New Year's Eve, but I know my family, they'll spend whatever they have to spend. And like the cousins, aunts, uncles, if they don't want to spend it, I'm not going to be super offended. So like I'd rather choose a resort that fits everything that I'm looking for rather than catering to like what my guests would be spending.
Okay. Are we inviting kids to this?
Probably not, no.
No kids. Okay.
Julia, I think it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to fit within the guest budget for that time of year. So, not to say that it's not impossible, but my worry would be that the resort may not live up to your expectations if we stick within that budget. So, another thing to consider as well is that during that time of year, during the New Year's, a lot of the group incentives are actually blacked out from a lot of the resorts, so you don't get those. That can affect your overall spend at the resort because, if you were to get married, 2 weeks beforehand, you would actually get those incentives, and that you could use that to help offset the cost of your wedding.
Well, it's funny you say that because I actually had a consult with an agent last week, and she pretty much told me that I can't do a New Year's Eve wedding. So that's why I scheduled a call with this team, because I've heard great things about you making things work.
I'm actually pulling pricing right now on some resorts in Cabo during New Year's. I'll be quite honest with you, there are definitely a lot of properties that are at the lower end that I would not recommend. But there are some properties that I think would work and would fit in budget. Or would just be just slightly over budget. I do think you have some options.
Yeah, I will say the lowest I'm seeing in the all-inclusive adults-only properties is looking around $2,000 for a 3-night stay for 2 adults. And generally speaking, you're looking at a 3-night stay minimum at most resorts for a room block.
Well, it has been like 8 years since I stayed at an all-inclusive, so that was really just like a guesstimate because I saw on the consult form you asked for a budget. So I was just kind of thinking about it, but I'm willing to like move it around once we start exploring resorts if it really isn't realistic.
If you're open to a little bit of wiggle room, since the lowest I'm seeing is 22, there are about 3 resorts that I can say that are all inclusives in Los Cabos. If you're open to looking elsewhere, I think that a pretty comparable destination to Los Cabos is Puerto Vallarta, which might have a couple more options for you. So I'd be happy to send you a couple of those as well.
I will say Puerto Vallarta is probably one destination I would be open to. I definitely don't want to do Cancun, definitely don't want to do Punta Cana or anything over there. I would say I'm pretty set on like the destinations that you think of, you're like, oh, that's going to be a luxury type of stay.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about the vision for the actual wedding, because I love that you're able to be flexible on the rates, and I think that will really, and the location, that'll really open up some options for us. But tell me a little bit, more about your vision for the actual wedding side of things.
Wedding, looking very all white aesthetics. I'm hoping for a terrace to overlook the ocean. I would love to have the string lights overhanging. I want a ton of white and green florals. Pretty much just like a clean, classic look.
As long as we can work that guest budget up a little bit to today's reality of what the rates are, I think for sure we can find some places for you. So I've got some in mind.
Well, actually, let me tell you my color scheme first, because I don't know if that'll affect with the aesthetics at all. So my bridesmaids, they're going to be wearing black. So it's going to be a black and white aesthetic. And then with the florals, it'll be like that green natural pop. So I just want you to keep that in mind.
Secrets Vallarta Bay might be one of the options that might be close to in ballpark of what you're looking for. You got the upper scale look, you got the white decor, and it's gonna be, you're gonna have decent food, you're gonna have a decent beach there, but it's gonna kind of give you that vibe that you're looking for in like the Los Cabos area with the mountains in the background with the beach, and I just think it's beautiful scenery all around.
Hey,
Do you know if they have a terrace for my reception where we can do the fireworks at midnight?
They do. Can they do fireworks at midnight over there? I'm not sure. The local ordinances, I'd have to look those up for you.
I was going to lean towards Hard Rock Cabo, however, It's definitely going to push the budget a lot. I know that they'll give you that gorgeous aesthetic that you're looking for. I know that sky's the limit with decor there. They do a phenomenal job with weddings. The beach is huge. It's wide open. The beach is stunning. The view from some of the terraces there is, I mean, it's probably some of our favorite views. They do have an adult-only pool. It's like an infinity pool that, you know, adults can go over there. It is not fully adult only.
Actually, that was a resort that I was watching TikToks of because they had the string lights, and I saw that they had like super bougie modern resort next door. Would that be an option?
It would be an option, but the resort next door is unfortunately not all inclusive.
It's very clear you're somebody that knows what they want. So we would love to help you find something that fits everything that you're looking for. Can you remind me, how many guests did you anticipate?
I'm expecting probably like around 80 guests.
I've got a couple resort options that I think you should check out, and you know, just check them out, take a look at them, and let me know your thoughts, and we can go from there. So number one, there's going to be 2 resorts in Cabo that I'd recommend, and I'm looking at pricing, you know, really kind of setting this around the guest budget, because I think that's going to be the determining factor that's going to really, you know, limit you as far as what resorts we're looking at. That said, your aesthetic, I think, can be reached anywhere. You know, I think that's something that any resort can do as far as the aesthetic of the actual party is concerned. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. We can really make any location into exactly what you want with your wedding budget, because that was pretty healthy. So that said, I think I would, number one, check out Grand Fiesta Americana Los Cabos. Absolutely stunning views, beautiful balconies, like beautiful resort. And it does price pretty lower. So particularly for New Year's, you know, it's pricing at $1,600 for 2 people for a 3-night stay. So that actually does fit in just above budget. So I think that is a really good option. Another option I think for you to check out will be Secrets Puerto Los Cabos. It's a larger resort, stunning property as well, and kind of fits a little bit higher end. It does price a little bit higher at $2,300 for the 3-night stay over New Year's. And then the last property, which I'm going to check real quick to see if the pricing works out on it, but one that really comes to mind in Puerto Vallarta for me is Marival Armani. It actually used to be adults only. It's now they do allow children, but it's not I wouldn't say it's a family-friendly resort, so it doesn't like cater to children. But I think that one would be stunning. Has a beautiful kind of a patio that's covered in palapa, so covered from the rain. That you can be, and it's on top of a cliff. It's absolutely beautiful. Let me check.
Actually, I think I saw a video of that on your TikTok account, and I liked that venue, but then I went to try and find other venues at that resort, and I didn't find much information. Do you know if there are other venues around there?
At that resort, for your size group, that will probably be the only venue that they have that can really accommodate that many guests. There are some patio areas that are up kind of closer towards the lobby of that resort that could be used, but they don't offer as the beautiful views. So if it were me, I would lean towards that venue. There is also another venue that's actually further, that's not covered and in the grass, and it's just down the beach a little bit, that could be used as well. But that property does price a little bit higher, looking at starting around $2,400 for a 3-night stay for your guests. So, you know, but those 3 options, I think, you know, you could find. I would take a look at those and let us know your thoughts once you dive in a little bit further. But I think we could really reach the aesthetic at any property that you're looking at.
Well, that's reassuring to hear about the aesthetic, and I'd love to explore resort options beyond my TikTok research, so I'm excited to explore.
We could look at Grand Palladium Vallarta.
Oh, I've actually never heard of that resort.
I think it's a beautiful property. It is actually under budget at this point. It has a beautiful pool overlooking the water, and it's got, you know, that boho chic, but also luxury white, you know, aesthetic as well that you're looking for. I think that it might be a solid property for you, especially because it's within the budget you were looking for your guests.
Awesome. Well, I know New Year's Eve is a hard date to choose, and that is why I came to the Be All Inclusive team, because every other agent has failed me so far. So I'm really excited to start working with you guys and hopefully get a date secured at a resort. There is no perfect resort, just the right one for the right couple. So if you heard yourself in one of these personas today, we would love to help them find the perfect fit for you. You can go ahead and schedule a consult at beallinclusive.net, and we will be happy to help. See you next time.
Sunny down in Mexico.